I saw a video recently from Rena Malik, who I've collaborated with before, talking about how certain masturbation habits can affect erections, control, and pleasure. And honestly, I think she's right. Because if men are training themselves toward a certain kind of stimulation, a certain level of pressure, and a certain pattern of arousal, then yeah, of course, over time, that can absolutely change sensitivity. It can affect performance. It can affect pleasure. That part of the conversation truly matters. But while I watched it, I kept thinking, I actually think we're missing the bigger story here, because this isn't just about masturbation. This video is brought to you by my HarperCollins published book, Mind Over Explicit Matter. If you're ready to quit porn and reclaim your life mentally and physically, go over to drtrishleigh.com/book. This is really about what men are training their brains on all day long. And I don't think we're talking about that enough. To me, that, my friend, is the hijack. Because let's be honest, modern men are living inside a level of stimulation we've never seen before in human history, and it is impacting them. That is why arousal dysfunction is on the documented rise with significance. So it works like this. You open your phone, Instagram, TikTok, hot girls, fitness influencers, sexualized content, sports betting, dopamine, scrolling, predictions, memes, pornography, back to scrolling, all before bed. And then we wonder why real life starts feeling different. The desire within you has been completely drained from your system. This is why pleasure feels so muted, why intimacy feels harder to stay present in, why erections feel inconsistent, why control is off. And listen, I'm not saying every single issue in the whole world is due to pornography or the dopamine hijack. Of course, hormones matter, sleep matters, overall health and lifestyle matter. So go get it checked out from your doctor, for sure. But I've got to tell you, most of the issues are from that. I work with thousands of men that have checked out every single aspect of their health and everything came back normal. Everything was fine, except for it wasn't fine because they still didn't feel or perform the way that they wanted to. So if your nervous system is constantly being trained to expect novelty, intensity, unpredictability, and endless stimulation, should we really be surprised when real life struggles to compete? Because here's what I think Rena's conversation accidentally points to. The issue might not be what men are doing. It might be what men are becoming neurologically adapted to, because the brain is predictive. The brain is programmed to predict. It learns patterns, and if every day your brain learns that arousal equals speed, novelty, switching, anticipation, and intensity, eventually your arousal adapts, not because you're broken, but because brains adapt. That is precisely what they are designed to do from an evolutionary standpoint. And honestly, I think that's the bigger cultural story that nobody really wants to have. We keep acting like men are mysteriously failing, low motivation, low libido, pleasure issues, disconnection, performance anxiety. But many men aren't failing. They are adapting to an environment that their brains were never designed for. You're adapting to an environment your brain was never designed for. And that's the truth. So then the answer obviously isn't shame, and it isn't teaching men how to do it more. It's awareness. Because the problem is not just what happens in private. The problem is what your brain is being conditioned to do all day long. That conditioning is taking away your desire for your real life, for your work, for your hobbies, for your relationships, for real world intimacy. And here's the part I really want you to hear. If your brain has adapted to high level stimulation, it can't possibly compete with the real world. That's the miswiring. But it can be rewired. It can be taught to go back to that desire for your real life through the wonders of neuroplasticity. But If you're like many men, you've probably trained your brain at such high levels of stimulation with consistency, frequency, and intensity that your brain has truly become stuck. That's what I call a neuro-rigid pattern. Your brain gets locked up, needing that level of stimulation. Honestly, this is why I'm so passionate about brain mapping and neurofeedback, because you need to see how your brain is performing instead of trying more willpower, more discipline. When your nervous system is completely dysregulated, it's hooked on high stimulation, but you have low amounts of regulation, you're wired, but you're tired, you're distracted, but you're totally disconnected, maybe you're unmotivated or low-key depressed, you do not need more willpower. You need more brain power. You need to see how your brain is performing and the gap in function, truly the gap between optimal function and dysfunction. You can see the patterns of where your brain is hooked on overstimulation, where it's difficult for you to attend in the prefrontal cortex. You can see the imbalance in the reward center, the reward circuitry. And once you actually see the problem, that's when you can begin rewiring it, because your brain has adapted and likely it's stuck. It's learned to take the pathway, the neural pathway, pun intended, of least resistance. But what gets trained in one direction can in fact be trained in the other. So in this conversation, if you have the sense that you are stuck in this neuro-rigid pattern that's pulling you back to overstimulation from the screen, and then coupling that with masturbation, and you're being told, yeah, it's changing your sensitivity, I want you to know, my friend, you have the power to change your sensitivity back and to reclaim your real world desire and to rewire those pleasure pathways in your brain back into your life. That's the power that you have. Now, if you need help on the journey, please go over to drtrishleigh.com, schedule a personal consultation with me so I can help. When we talk, I can make a clear path forward for you, with you. And of course, until next time, remember to control your brain, or in fact, it will control you. I'll see you next time.